What's up, Bills Mafia? We are talking underrated Bills players heading into the 2023 season. But before we get into that, let's hit that intro.
This is VZ Music.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I always forget to tell you. Anyways, guys, happy 4th of July. I hope you all had a great, 4th of July weekend. And be safe out there. You know, when lighting these fireworks up, I'm not going to do it. I'll enjoy it from the sideline. But I want to enjoy my Buffalo Bills this season and not have a missing face because I lit a firework and it went up in my face. So just be careful, please, because I've seen so many horror stories of people lighting a firework and it going up in their face or exploding on their hands. So just be careful, please, because this is the year the Buffalo Bills is going to finally win a Super Bowl. And I don't want you to miss it out on a firework. So anyways, guys, I want to talk about the most underrated Buffalo Bills players going into the 2023 season, and this is actually a list of 6 players that Bills Wire did, and shout out to Bills Wire for, doing this. They have it on their website, so I want to give a shout out to them for providing me this. So anyways, guys, let's get this thing started. So 6 underrated players heading into the 2023 season. First player they have up here now is Dane Jackson, cornerback. 7th round pick, Dane Jackson, that is. So let's hear what they say about Dane Jackson. So Dane Jackson, as a former first-round pick, Kaiir Elam is going to have every chance to start across from Trey White in 2023. He will have to earn that in training camp battles with Dane Jackson, and it won't be an easy task. While Jackson's coverage from PFF was an average 59.9 overall last season, he's still talented and more importantly, experienced. Jackson has appeared in 37 career games with 22 starts, notching 3 interceptions and 23 passes defended along the way. So, listen, Dane Jackson to me had a rough year last year. And listen, I give nothing but respect to Dane Jackson. He was a 7th round pick. Okay, so it wasn't like this is a first round, second round, third round pick. Last pick of the draft for the Buffalo Bills. And listen, for what he's done, just like Levi Wallace, I got to give I give respect to players like that earn their job on the field when really they had the odds were stacked against them. So not in respect from Dane Jackson, but we drafted Kaiir Elam for a reason. Okay, Kaiir Elam was supposed to be that guy next to Trey White. Now, starting into the 2022 season, we all know what happened. Benford got the starting gig over Kaiir Elam, and then eventually they kind of rotated throughout the season. And by the way, Benford, really, really good pickup as well for Brandon Beane. But anyways, listen, I understand that Dane Jackson has, he has the games played, right? He has the experience. But listen, guys, Kaiir Elam, first round pick, right? You drafted him for a reason, Buffalo Bills, right? Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott. You must have saw something you like, right? I see something I like. When I saw Kaiir Elam on the field last season, and really Benford, I thought they both outperformed Dane Jackson when they were given the opportunity. I think they're both aggressive. And I just feel like Dane Jackson had a really, really tough time, guarding receivers, especially when it was a 50-50 ball. He's just seemed to not come down with it, right? And I don't feel like he's as aggressive as defender as Kyer Elam or Benford goes. So listen, I would be kind of upset if Kyer Elam doesn't get that nod as number 2 corner over Dane Jackson. But listen, you all know Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane, they have their certain players that they like. And Dane Jackson might just be one of them, just like Levi Wallace, who they stuck with for a long time. I'm hoping not. You drafted Kyer Elam in the first round for a reason. It's time to give him the opportunity and see what happens. If Dane beats him out fair and square in camp and in preseason, then it is what it is. Then you have to start asking yourself, was Kyer Elam a bad pick? You can't have your first-round player on the bench. I'm sorry. To me, then that's a bad pick. Right now, you're going to year 2. There's no more excuses for Kyer Elam to be sitting on the bench. I'm just saying. So, anyway, let's get back to this list. So, on their second part of this is cornerback Terron Johnson. Love Terron Johnson, man. So let's see what they say about Terron. If I can get there. So most in Buffalo will consider Terron Johnson a good defender. He's one of the best. He's even better than that. Exactly. Few slot defenders in the NFL have as much responsibility on their shoulders as Johnson, and he's never missed a beat. PFF graded him 68.3 overall and 74.7 coverage grade in 2022, both of which are above average. Johnson plays nearly every snap and rarely misses playing time. He's underrated even in Western New York. Very, very true. Love Terron Johnson, man. Dude has speed. Dude has great coverage. Always around the ball. Y'all know that. Pick 6, right, in the playoffs a few years back. The dude is just a really, really good defender. And that's why the Buffalo Bills locked him up on that contract in 2021, I believe it was, when they extended him early. Because they saw the writing on the wall. They know this guy. Listen, they know this guy is reliable. They know this dude can cover. They know this dude has speed. They know this dude can hit. This dude is all over the field, and he doesn't get hurt. He's constantly available, and that's what the Buffalo Bills need, and he's a young player. So why not lock up a young slot corner early? And that's exactly what the Buffalo Bills did, and that's a signing, by the way, that is really under the radar, in my opinion. That was a sneaky extension that nobody really talks about back in 2021. And I know a lot of people were like scratching their heads when they extended Terron Johnson, because they were like, at that time, Terron Johnson was kind of younger player at the time. It was kind of early on to go ahead and extend him, and the Bills went ahead and did it, and it was a smart decision because he's one of the best slot covers in the NFL, in my opinion. So, yes, I totally agree with underrated. He's not underrated for me. For me, he's one of the best slot corners in the NFL. And he's one of the best corners on our team. So, but I can understand where they're coming from on that. So let's get to the next one on their list. Next one on their list, if I could scroll properly, guys, I'm so sorry. Edge rusher Gregory Russo from the U. Y'all know Greg Russo, man. That dude is that dude. And do I got to throw it up? Of course I got to throw it up, because it's always about the U. I am sorry if you guys can't read this, but if you can, you can. If you can't, you can't. It's up there, but I'll read it anyways. Because all the focus is on future Hall of Famer Von Miller and recent free agent addition Leonard Floyd, you might forget about Rousseau. Don't. Before the Bills even added Floyd, Rousseau was ranked the 29th best edge defender in the NFL by PFF. On that same list, Floyd does not even appear. Von Miller is 10th. While the short term looks bright as defensive end, Rousseau finally appears to be a player Buffalo's front office hit on after missing on a few pass rushers in the draft. In his first 2 seasons, Rousseau has notched 12 sacks for the Bills, including 8 last season. So, yeah, man, listen, man, I'm going to tell y'all straight up, man. I absolutely loved the pick when they picked my man Russo from the U. Not just because he's from the U, but because that dude's ceiling was so freaking high. Listen, he played edge 1 year, was transitioned over to edge in the U, and I think he was playing tight end initially. And by the way, in football in general, he started late. He was a basketball player initially. Then I think he was tight end, and they converted him to edge. First season as an edge, 15 and a half sacks. I believe he was tied in the country with sacks that year, 15 and a half. And then he didn't play in 2020 due to y'all know why, right? And decided to stick out because his mom was a hospital worker, and I totally understand why he did that. So, really, Russo only had 1 year of experience at edge, and the Buffalo Bills took the gamble. And by the way, listen, the Buffalo Bills, I think that year picked 29th, if I'm not mistaken, 28th or 29th in the draft. It's almost second-round pick, right? It was totally worth the gamble on Gregory Russo. Dude is still growing. He's like 6'5". He's still getting bigger as far as weight and muscle goes, and he's learning still. And you saw his production from year 1 to year 2, right? I think he had 6 sacks or something like that his first year, something like that, and then he had 8 last year, right? I'm sorry, 4 sacks, and then he had 8 last year. So what a jump from year 1 to year 2 for Russo, right? And he's learning from Von. He's going to Von's. He has that pass rush defensive school that he does in the offseason, which is really helping out Russo and all the other players that are going to that camp that Von holds. And I'm going to tell you, man, Russo is going to continue to get better. He's going to continue to get bigger, stronger, learn more technique. Absolutely love Russo. And yes, as of right now, that pick is working out for the Buffalo Bills. Absolutely love Russo. I expect even a better year this season for Russo. So I'm going to come out and say it right now. I think Gregory Russo will have at least 10 sacks minimum this season for the Buffalo Bills. I really believe in this dude, and he's going to get at it, man. The maturity of this dude, you could see throughout the years. So can't wait for more Russo for years to come. So now let's get to the next guy. All right, next guy, Punam Ford. One of the underrated kind of signings that the Buffalo Bills did in the offseason. So Ford isn't an unknown, but he does not jump off the roster at you. His signing was welcome, but no one jumped for joy. I did. Partly that's due to his position as a defensive tackle. Most of those players don't do that unless you're Aaron Donald. It's very true. But the undersized interior defender earned his first sub 73 PFF grade last season, 56.2. I'm sorry, he had 73 last year and then 56.2 in his entire career. On top of that, the Seattle Seahawks admitted it was their fault that happened because they were playing Ford out of position. Ford could be a very positive addition for the Buffalo Bills. Totally agree. Once again, the one thing we lacked last season, really many seasons since Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott has been building this roster, has been what? Defensive line and offensive line. Well, defensive line, we've been soft, right? Undersized, kind of not a lot of big bodies up front, not a lot of guys that can stop the tackle, stop the rush, right? Or stop the blitz. And I felt like Brandon Beane this offseason finally addressed the trenches. And by adding Punam Ford to that line is a huge thing. I don't know if you guys really understand. So he locked up Ed Oliver. You got Punam Ford on a 1-year deal. By the way, Punam Ford came in cheaper because he could have signed somewhere else for more. And his value was actually higher. So he wanted to go to a winning team. And I really hope the Bills could somehow figure a way to extend him. And maybe they will during the season sometime, because 1-year deal for that guy, man, I think man, I'm telling you, we're going to miss that guy when he leaves, in my opinion, because that dude, man, is a firecracker, bro. Hey, no point intended at 4th of July. So he really is. And Seattle Seahawks fans, they all said it too, man. They're going to miss Punam Ford. That dude was electric when he's on there on the field. And, man, we now have a defensive line that is stacked up, man, in my opinion. So I can't wait to see what Punam Ford offers in that rotation on that line, man, because, once again, man, a guy, we're not missing a beat when Punam Ford comes in for somebody. Not at all, man. Love it. Love that pick. All right, so the next guy, let's get to the next part of this list. And the next guy on this list is Damen Harris, running back. Okay. So, former second-round pick by the Bills, James Cook, will have the first look at being Buffalo's number 1 running back in 2023. Damen Harris might make doing so difficult for him. Harris was named the Bills' better running back by PFF. The only reason he ended up as a free agent was because of his injury issues with the New England Patriots. Wherever it's Harris eventually being the top back or a split back with Cook, Harris could turn out to be a piece for the Buffalo Bills offense. He will have plenty of motivation after signing a 1-year prove-it deal. Absolutely. So, listen, Damen Harris has talent. He's a talented running back, second-round pick for a reason. You saw his stats with New England when healthy, which is rare for him. He actually did very well. The problem with him, all right, with Damen Harris is staying healthy, right? And he's really every single season, I think, but one has missed 5 games, 4 games, 6 games. He's just has not been reliable. Unfortunately for him, for injuries, right? And listen, your best ability is your availability, right? And for him, it just hasn't been there. I'm hoping that the injuries are behind him, but I got to be honest with you. He's been in the league a while now, since 2019, and injuries have followed him every year. And the chances of him getting hurt again are probably good, right? Because of his track record. I hate saying that, but it concerns me. This running back room concerns me because of that. If he could stay healthy, then yes, 100%. He's very underrated, especially underrated signing for the Buffalo Bills, because he could be that short yardage, that goal line running back that we have most desperately needed. In Buffalo, we haven't had that for a long time. And he could be that guy. Now, if he gets hurt or he just doesn't, in the training camp or preseason or early on in the regular season, then it's a problem, right? Then it's a problem, right? And then now we need a guy who in free agency, who's going to be left, right? There's guys out there, man, I would really love the Buffalo Bills to roll the dice on. Kareem Hunt is one of those guys. Listen, Damen Harris can be cut. He still could be cut. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know if I'd be willing to roll the dice on Harris this season, but we'll see. If he could stay healthy, then he could be a great addition, a great help for this Buffalo Bills offense in the 2023 season. But we shall see, man. We shall see. All right, next on their list. Trent Sherfield. So if I can get there. All right, Sherfield, who? All right. A 30-catch player last season with the Miami Dolphins, a career high. Sherfield comes to Buffalo as an unknown. Keep him in mind, according to some of his former teammates, he has been beloved by the team in the past, including that in that group in the Dolphins receiver Tyreek Hill. And that is the end of their list, unless I missed any. Let me see if I missed any, guys. I apologize if I did. I don't think I did, though. So let me just scroll up to see if I missed anybody else on this list. I don't think I did. My computer is just running weird. So no, I didn't. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this list. Let me go back. So, Trent Sherfield. I absolutely love this pickup for the Buffalo Bills. It's a sneaky pickup. yes, it's a guy unknown, and yes, you're going to say Sherfield. Who? What? But the guy did have a very good season last year for the Miami Dolphins, considering he was their third option in Miami under a Hill and a Waddle, who's going to get most of the catches, right? He came, I think he had 400 and, let me go to his stats. So last year he had a total of 417 yards receiving for the Miami Dolphins. And I believe he had 2 touchdowns. Okay, so 2 touchdowns. His catch percentage, 58.8, and that's something that I'm going to do another video on the receivers after this video. A little concerning on some of our guys, man, in this receiver room, and that's why I keep telling y'all that is my other big question mark heading into the 2023 season is really the receivers and the running back room. Their drop percentage, by the way, Buffalo Bills, second in drop percentage, or I think they were first in drop percentage last year. Unacceptable once again. And it seems like every year we're top 5 drop percentage on offense. That's a problem that needs to be fixed. But I'm going to get to that in the next video. Anyways, back Trent Sherfield. So Trent Sherfield, yes, underrated. I saw what he did last year when he's given the opportunity. The dude is very fast. 40-yard dash, he ran a 4.29. No, I'm sorry, a 4.39, which is super fast, guys. And I believe the other guy we have, Hardy, ran a 4. Was it Hardy that ran the 4? I forget, but they're both on the same. They both ran like a 4.3, 4.4, something like that. Really, really fast, electric guy. So he has some speed to him. He's also taller. He's a 6'2" receiver. He also has very good as far as getting up, getting the ball. Can't think of the word, but he can basically jump. He can jump really high. Vertical, I'm sorry, there it is. His vertical is really, really good as far as going up and getting the ball at a high pass, for high passes. So that's a good thing. You saw that last year with the Dolphins. He made some really tough catches as far as getting up in the air and getting them, catch points, they call them. And so, yeah, I listen, if Trent Sherfield can continue where he left off with Miami, that is a hell of a pickup. But if he doesn't, and he shows what he did with minimal time in Arizona and San Francisco, grant you they had better receivers there, and he was low on the list of receivers as far as getting opportunity. He still didn't have the greatest numbers. His catch percentage is still kind of low. We'll see. But if like I said, if he could continue where he left off, Trent Sherfield could be the Buffalo Bills number 3. I love Khalil Shakir, but Trent Sherfield has the advantage with experience. He had a good year last year. He's a taller receiver. We'll see what happens when it comes to Sherfield. But I do like that pickup. It's a 1-year kind of a prove-it deal. By the way, Brandon Beane loves these 1-year prove-it deals, right? He does them every single offseason. And that also could be because he just doesn't have the money to do more than 1 year, but a lot of them are prove-it deals. And he's one of them. And we'll see what happens with Trent Sherfield. I have high hopes for Trent Sherfield. They said he looked really good in OTAs and in minicamp. Especially when Stephon Diggs didn't show up the first day. They said Sherfield was getting a lot of passes thrown to him by Josh Allen. Josh Allen seemed impressed. At least that's what reporters say. Once again, though, they're in shorts, and they're not really like, this isn't, real legit camp, and this isn't preseason where it counts when you're going against other defenders who are hitting you, defending you. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he plays in preseason, because that's where the Buffalo Bills are going to make the decision. Sean McDermott, the coach's staff, is going to say, okay, he's our third option. Or can Khalil Shakir beat out Sherfield? Right now, I think Sherfield has that edge on him. I like Khalil Shakir. I think Khalil Shakir has a bright future in the NFL, but right now, if you were to ask me right now, I think Sherfield has the advantage over Shakir going in to the 2023 season, but it's all going to count in camp and preseason. It's going to be a lot of battles, man, including the running back room. So very curious, but that was a cool list. I like that list. Tell me who you guys think By the way, I do want to throw one more guy, like a surprise guy that's not on the list. I think Spencer Brown. And I know y'all going to be like, Spencer Brown, what? I think Spencer Brown is underrated going into the 2023 season. 3rd round pick. A lot of people are, already saying, terrible pick. He shouldn't be starting at right tackle. Get the dude out of Buffalo. He sucks. There's a lot of Bills Mafia that are really being tough on Spencer Brown. And I got to tell you, man, Spencer Brown, just like Gregory Russo, it was one of those players that had a high ceiling because he was new to the position. He's a little raw. Once again, a guy that played basketball, other sports, kind of transitioned to football late in life. Was put at right tackle. He only had, I think 1 year of experience in college at that position. And then he comes to Buffalo. He has a back problem already, right? So it was a lot of things kind of stacked up against him going into his NFL career. Last year, we finally get Aaron Kromer, a good offensive line coach. And what happens? He has back surgery, right? Which I'm kind of glad he got out of the way. But unfortunately for him, he got to miss out all through OTAs, all through minicamp, all through training camp, all preseason. He missed all of that. So he didn't get to work with Kromer, right, at all. Nothing. Week 1, boom. Go ahead, Spencer. Throw you in there. So no reps, no camp, right? He was given it right after surgery, kind of, right after he was done healing up, ready to go. That was tough for him. Listen, that's tough for any player to just boom, go at it. No camp, no nothing, especially a young player. And I think a lot of Bills Mafia just overlooks that and just says, "Oh, his 3rd round pick should be good." And it's like, no, man, the dude needs work. The dude needs to be with the offensive line coach, getting in these reps, and he didn't. Now, 2023, he's healthy. This all off season. There's no excuse now, right? No more excuse for Spencer Brown, right? If Spencer Brown doesn't perform well when the regular season starts, then hey, guess what? We have Brandon Shell waiting in the wing. Who, by the way, Brandon Shell, another one of those guys that was a sneaky pickup by the Buffalo Bills. Absolutely love that pickup because he can absolutely come in at right tackle and take over Spencer Brown's job if Spencer Brown can't hold it down, right? But I believe in Spencer Brown. I believe in Aaron Kromer. I do. And I think Aaron Kromer can work with Spencer Brown, get him right, and you're going to see a much improved Spencer Brown because the dude is super athletic. You guys see it. There's flashes out there of going, damn, Spencer Brown's that dude, right? And then there's other things that you're like, oh, my God. Like, the dude can't – he's letting everybody go by him, right? So I believe in Spencer Brown, like I said. I believe with the work in this offseason, that dude can actually be a really good starting right tackle in the NFL. So, anyways, guys, I want your thoughts, your comments. Comment below. Name your underrated players. Tell me who's underrated going into the 2023 season. I'm very curious who you guys have as your underrated player. So, guys, once again, Bills Mafia, I love you. And as always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace.